Bill Moseley,
Danielle Harris,
Dick Warlock,
George Romero,
Kane Hodder,
Robert England,
Ronnie Blakely,
CJ Graham,
and you're listening to
Deep in Horror, Texas.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Oh, hey, you okay?
Damn enchilada.
Oh, you gonna be alright?
I'm feeling woozy, yeah. What's in the box?
The blackest tie.
What's in the fucking box?
Nothing.
Hello, listeners. This is Nathan with Deep in the Horror, Texas. On tonight's special episode, we did a crossover with Travis from Pop Culture Rewind. In our naivete of doing crossovers, we accidentally forgot to record an intro. So now I have to do this ridiculous thing for you. Enjoy.
Hey guys. Hey everybody. How y'all doing this time?
Doing great.
We're doing fine, sir. How are you?
Are you getting your microphone fixed?
Yes, I'm fixing it. I like that. You know, I'm the guy that likes to tweak with the little things during the show. Keep going, people.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here, just a fat man on a microphone.
Yeah, we've been having some issues with this microphone, so if we're having problems during the episode, that's why.
Should be good now. I've got a foot between me and the mic.
You gotta get the foot loose.
I just wanted to, get this out and maybe talk about some movies, just in time for Halloween, movies that I probably wouldn't normally talk about, but hey, what the hell, right? We got, there's lots of subgenres in horror, and in this particular episode, I was going to talk about some ghost movies.
Ooh.
And there was one recent thing I just watched on Netflix recently that got me in the mood to talk about this. Have y'all had a chance to binge Haunting of Hill House?
I have.
No.
No.
No,
I've started it, but that's about as far as I got.
How many episodes are you into?
2.
Damn it, Jeff.
Me too.
I watched the whole season. As soon as I clicked on, I just binged.
Yeah,
I binged it.
it was hooked.
I couldn't stop.
Yeah, it's an amazing series. Even if you're a horror fan or not a horror fan, it's a must-watch series.
I was amazed by just the retelling and the modernization of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it felt familiar, but very different, and it was very welcome, I guess, especially it being a Netflix series, having it just drop in your lap like that. It was just awesome.
It's had 2 film adaptations. One we've probably seen. I don't know. There's one from The Haunting, 1963.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was the Haunting, 1999, with Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
That was the one I watched.
That was a terrible.
Yeah, it was very terrible.
Everything was actually pretty good about that, but the main chick, Lillian
From
Taylor,
Lily Taylor from the...
Yeah.
she was god awful in that. Everybody else was pretty good, even Owen Wilson.
Wow, you're so dominant.
Mother, I'm coming. The children, they need me.
Well, the house is such a big character in that film.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be.
But to the point where it's like so like poltergeisty, right? Everything's just moving around like I don't know. It's a totally different vibe than what this series
Oh,
is.
yeah. And for it having an all-star cast like Liam Neeson, Owen Wilson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, I mean, all these actors were in that film you expected. And it's done by the director who did Speed.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jan de Bont, or whoever the heck it is.
Was that who did it?
Yeah. So it was a big deal
And
for
plus,
him.
it was in the mid to late 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Where the CGI was
It wasn't
still,
right.
Yeah, we weren't there yet.
Right,
We
and
weren't there
they
yet.
were doing a lot of that at the time, like the House on Haunted Hill, the Haunting.
And I don't know about you guys, but that's where I would always get confused between the different hauntings. There's Haunting of Hill House, the Haunting. I think there's
House on Haunted Hill.
There's that one in Hell House. I
The
believe.
Legend of Hill House.
Yeah, that's
it was
so-
in
Yeah, I remember
1973.
Yeah.
That had the guy who played Peter Vincent from Fright Night. It's a good one. I dug it out of a pawn shop recently. It's a classic.
Yeah, but this one was written, directed, basically created for Netflix by Mike Flanagan.
Who did?
He's did all kinds of stuff
recently.
Yeah. Now he's done like Hush, Oculus.
Fucking amazing movie.
We just talked about Hush.
Amazing
okay.
movie.
Before I Sleep. Ouija, the sequel, the good one.
That was a good one. The
first one was terrible. The second one was pretty good.
Part 2 was good.
Yeah. And Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game was amazing.
Is that good? Like,
That was so good.
I haven't seen that one. But
It's like one of those films that people call like it's unadaptable. One of Stephen King books, like it's unadaptable. You'll never make it into a film. And
it's on Netflix now, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
Premiered on Netflix original.
Yeah,
so this was like his shoe in.
Wait, what is Netflix original? I thought it was in the theaters also.
No,
they released
maybe if they did, it was like for festivals and stuff. But as far as I know, Gerald's Game was
as like a public release. Yeah, it was Netflix only.
They released that in 1922 at the same time.
Thank you, 1922, which is another short from Full of Dark Stars or something like that.
Yeah,
it's an
that one's really
book.
good. I haven't seen that one.
That one is
Thomas
really
Jane?
good.
Pretty good
Oh,
story.
yeah?
That one was really good. I Thomas Jane, I like a lot of his work, and he does an amazing job on that.
Yeah, dude, Thomas Jane's awesome.
Yeah.
He is the Punisher farmer.
During this series, we're not gonna spoil anything for that series.
You might want to cut Nate's mic now, then.
Don't ruin the series.
One thing I want to talk to you about because we watched the series.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck off.
No.
No spoilers.
I heard a fan theory, that each one of the children represent a state of loss. You had Steve was denial. One character was bargaining. I think it was the girl with the gloves.
Oh yeah.
And then Nell was acceptance. Luke was like everybody was a stage of.
Really?
It was interesting. It was like wow, and like they talked about this theory with one of the writers or actors, and they're like, wow, I never thought of the children being a stage of like I think it's loss or something like that. You know, where you have denial, acceptance,
the seven stages.
And it was cool that the children would represent.
There are 7 of them.
And then I think the one that runs the mortuary, she was like anger.
Shirley.
Shirley. Yeah.
Shirley. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Like if you haven't watched the show, watch it. I mean, I've never full on cried at a horror film, but this thing had me jumping, scared, tearing up at moments. It was just a beautiful.
And it's not like gore or anything like that.
No.
It's not scary. It's just creepy. Like there's just some of the elements.
Genuine scares, creepiness.
There was a couple.
A couple of jump scares.
Yes.
It was like, oh shit.
Those didn't happen until later on.
Oh no. I'm sorry. I got like goosebumps when she's dancing.
Yes.
By herself. Oh man, there's just moments in that show where I was just like, this is probably one of my favorite Netflix ghost shows.
So this is kind of like something that would, instead of like it focusing on trying to gross you out with the grotesque or anything like that, it's more of like
atmosphere
kind of like get under your
definitely.
skin kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I'm definitely gonna have to continue watching then.
Oh yeah, it gets better as the episodes go through. There's only like 10 episodes, so it's
10 episodes. I mean, when you imagine it, 10 hours. Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect show.
Yeah. All right, quit talking about it.
All right. Sorry.
All right.
I've been talking to you guys about this. I would literally text you guys like, I would just all caps, watch The Hill House. This is amazing.
I know. And then my wife caught wind that you wanted us to watch it, and she was like, you can't continue without me. And I'm like, motherfuck. And she gets up every day at 5. So
I haven't been able to start Ozark because my wife isn't ready yet. And when she's ready, we'll watch Ozark. Because I know with your recommendations, it's probably going to be great, but I haven't got a chance.
Hey, I had to push back watching Daredevil until I finished Hill House.
Oh, really?
And I'm like on episode 9 of Daredevil.
And you're like,
yes. Oh my God.
We don't talk about things that Nate hasn't seen.
Did you hear that today they launched a trick or treat kind of thing with Netflix? They actually dropped like 5 shorts.
Really?
Just
Holy shit,
random
really?
5 shorts on Netflix. They're supposed to be pretty cool.
Like different.
Like just 5-minute short films that are like
Really?
another treat from Netflix this awesome October.
Fucking
Like
hell.
they haven't given us enough, you know?
There's a lot of shit that came out.
If
in
they
Netflix
would have
this
just
month.
given us Hill House, I would have been totally content. But they're
Right,
like,
hell,
no.
not only Netflix by itself, but like fucking a lot of the streaming services are now dropping shit.
Shudder.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Shudder's amazing.
You're welcome.
John Carpenter just released a theme for Shudder now. So you know how like
shit.
Netflix has a boom.
Yeah.
Now Shudder's gonna have a John Carpenter music. I was like,
What's I'm a little behind. What's Shudder?
Shudder is
Netflix of horror.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like the Netflix of horror. They do a lot more. I want to say more like B. I think more
Definitely.
kind of like a lot of B horror.
They have a great horror library, but now they're getting into like
the mainstream stuff. Or getting closer to
they've
it.
been making contacts with original shit and also acquiring indie stuff that's coming around the festival circuit. So it's like,
Well, the thing
You
that
get a
boomed
really-
them up a lot was the Joe Bob 24.
Oh, yeah,
the Joe Bob race.
24 movies with Joe Bob.
shut down the
but yeah,
internet.
no,
And now they're bringing him back. and they're also like in talks to start a creep show anthology
series.
series
With
oh thank God,
Yeah,
Greg
and
Nicotero producing.
yeah, please get
But
it.
yeah, Shutter's
No, he's too,
really
he's too busy doing Walking Dead, right? So he can't do anything
Yeah,
else.
Walking Dead's over.
You heard it here, folks.
lowest season opener this
Yeah.
past season.
I haven't watched Walking Dead in like 5 seasons, so I have no fucking idea.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was fucking good because
All right,
it's useless
so-
now, isn't it?
Anyway, back to the episode that we're talking about.
Yes.
All right, so watching Haunting of Hill House, it made me really just want to see other movies and go back and revisit some movies, good and bad, that just focused on like the ghost aspect, like not just like doors slamming shut or
Yeah.
furniture flipping around or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking of like the actual ghosts that we see in the movies themselves.
Give us your guidelines.
Yeah, go for it. Like,
Okay, well, I got
just-
like,
We're doing a guessing game.
No, I like this because this is going to be challenging.
This is.
Is it? I mean, okay, so
You're asking us to cut the corners off the bread.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, like I said, it's a countdown. So 10 to 1. Mm-hmm. All right. So 1 being the best, Jeff.
Okay.
So the first one that we're mentioning,
Like cutting the crust off the heel.
It's all crust. It's all crust.
what's wrong with the crust? That's all I'm saying.
I like it.
All right. Jeff, keep it together. Come on. All right. So 13 ghosts.
Okay.
And the reason I was thinking about that is because you do see a lot of ghosts in there, and they're all just like I kind of said it
Ghosts.
before. Like thank you, Jeff. They're visceral. They're
They're messed up.
they're messed up. They
very
have
messed
different,
up.
Yeah, totally.
distinct designs and characters of themselves.
Like the Juggernaut.
Yeah, exactly. And when I mention these movies, did y'all want to talk about anything?
13 Ghosts?
Yeah. Anything that stands out from those movies?
The Juggernaut.
Thank God. Oh, my God. Juggernaut.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
The Juggernaut was creepy as shit.
It was, wasn't it?
Dude. Well, with this being like the Ghost House kind of resurgence and stuff, and they had the production company that was putting those out back.
Right.
Seeing fucking the dude from Scream. Give me a
Matthew Lillard?
Yeah,
Matthew
SLC
Lillard?
Punk. Dude, he was amazing. It's gonna be a Scream. Oh, dude. Yeah, well, he was fun in that. The whole cast was good, except I couldn't name one person in that cast except Matthew Lillard and Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah,
That's it.
I agree.
And
Same way.
But what the idea of it, that glass house, the way everything moved, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, when I was actually I just recently.
You were working at Cinemark when this.
Yes, I was. Thank you. That's how old I am. So,
Thanks for bringing back memories.
right? Yeah. So when I just recently revisited that movie, and one thing that stood out to me, I wish they would have spent more time just developing like the ghosts themselves.
Yeah.
Because the movie opens up, they've already captured the ghosts pretty much. I
Yeah.
think they captured the Juggernaut's the last one they were capturing.
Yeah,
in the
I think the
beginning.
Juggernaut was the last one that they
Yeah,
did.
but and then by the time we get to the house and we start seeing these ghosts and what they're doing, we barely like just see.
They're ethereal. They're just
Yeah.
moments and glimpses that the main characters aren't seeing. That we
Because
see.
they have to put the glasses on.
Yeah.
And that's the only time we get glimpses of the ghosts. And
That's a fun idea.
yeah. And the thing is, I believe that the makeup company was Greg Nitaro's.
Oh, K&B?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That company did that.
Really? Can be?
That's awesome.
Holy shit.
Um,
I didn't know that.
So they could have done much more. I mean, they obviously had the talent
Yeah, no,
to
they
make the
definitely did.
designs.
Oh, yeah.
I just wish they would have spent more time to where when the time comes when they reveal the ghost, like we know, like what
Oh, that's the bride, or that's the sacred the
angry princess.
Yeah, all that shit
The
was-
naked chick that was
awesome.
walking around,
She was gorgeous.
Yeah.
She looked like the Tim Burton chick. Oh man,
Yeah.
she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Nate, any input?
Not on that movie.
What? No spectacular tits? Nothing like that?
That's a number 10 for a reason, sir. Those are
It's
slashed
not.
up.
I know
those are
it's not. It's
slashed
not a
up
very
tits.
good. Like it doesn't hold up very well. Like the direction of that movie is just terrible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no,
It's just
no,
a bad
it
editing and everything.
Yeah, it was a good one-off. I couldn't imagine it going anywhere else than just being what it was at that time for horror people.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's really it.
It was a popcorn.
It's not
flick at
scary.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't too scary, but it did have that cool effect of, hey, this glass has these curses on it that keeps these people at bay and
Interesting
trapped
concept.
in this house. Yeah, it was a really cool concept, and the twist at the end I really didn't even fucking see until it happened. You
Yeah.
know, with the dad actually trapping everybody.
Very Casper-like ending.
Yes, very much.
That's what I thought.
I
as
wish
Casper.
Christina Ricci was in this.
Can I keep you?
It's no problem. It's like no problem whatsoever.
piece of cake, piece of crumb cake.
If it was Black Snake,
If that's your
mode,
number
yes.
10, I'm curious where we're going from here because that's going to be
really
we're going to climb a mountaintop.
Like I said, this is kind of all over the place, but you know what?
That's okay.
It is what it is, right? So
Exactly.
Next movie I have is Mama.
Never saw it.
Never saw it.
Oh my gosh.
We saw that one in the theater,
Oh, yeah, we
and
did.
I remember coming out of that. Spoiler alert, I guess, like the ending of the movie with.
Beautiful.
I was not. I don't think either one of us expected the ending.
Jessica Chastain.
Yeah,
and that
Jessica-
great fucking goth bass player. Fucking, oh, she was hot.
Yeah, she was.
She was gorgeous.
Oh, she's still
It's
is.
weird seeing her back in a role like that now. Like you
Yes.
go back and watch that movie, like it's weird seeing her in a role like that. But yeah, there's I guess a twist ending, sort of. Not really a twist ending, but just unexpected ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With what happens to one of the kids.
Yeah. And with director Andy Muschietti.
Who went on to do it.
Yeah.
Isn't this also the one with Javier Bardem?
No.
That's
no?
Mother.
That's
Oh, that's Mother. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, it's a great Javier Bardem.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
He's not Spanish.
That's great.
Is it? I've never heard anybody say that.
I love the shit out of it, but then again, it's Darren Aronofsky, so yeah, I'm a sucker for an Aronofsky film.
Clearly.
Have you seen Noah? Fantastic. Russell Crowe as Noah. That was magic. It was like Lord of the Rings and other fantasy stuff.
Please continue.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan. All right, Ouija, Origin of Evil. Again, this one written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who did Haunting of Hill House. And if you watch the movie, there's 4 actors in that movie that are in Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Both Shirley's, the young and old Shirley. Theo, she's in that movie. She's in the opening scene.
And the little girl from Annabelle Part 2.
Yeah,
who comes on everything now.
Lulu, yeah, she's got a resume on her, man.
She's like everything horror. She just gets tagged into.
And Elliot from E.T. He's in there too.
It's always great to see these directors pull like old contacts to be able to pull into these other movies.
I like it.
It's
Yeah.
all-
I'm sorry.
It shows that there's a nice little network there.
Yeah.
When the guy who plays Elliot from E.T. played young Timothy Hutton, like I was just like fist in the air, like this is amazing.
Thank you! Thank you!
Like,
Back
that was-
on Hill House, yeah.
That was great on Hill House.
Did any of the going back to Hill House for a second because it's such a good show.
You fuckers.
What about the casting between the young and the old?
Oh, it was perfect.
For
It
all
was
of them?
perfect.
Okay.
I just saw like as the girls grew up, all you saw was the mom, and it was just like it brought a tear to your eye.
Yeah.
But seeing Nell being that fragile young youth, even when she was little to when she got older, it was just like perfection the whole time. And seeing little Luke to old Luke, it just broke my fucking heart every episode with Luke. It was like
Yeah,
seeing
you can see the tragic.
that innocent fucking little kid going the dumbwaiter down to what he would end up being. It was just like, man, like I said, goosebumps. I was like,
So we should we could have done a whole episode on that show.
Hill House is a magic.
We might be going back to that here in
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next one on my list. Surely all of us could talk about this one, and it's not really a straight up horror movie per se, but it's got the ghost the most. I had to put Beetlejuice in this list. So because you see some shit in this movie as far as the designs of all the ghosts and whatnot in this movie.
I love Beetlejuice is a classic, and
Yeah.
what's funny is we would get later in American Horror Story, Murder House season 1. It was very a la goth adult Beetlejuice story, which is if you watch it and you decipher it when you get to the last episode, you're watching Beetlejuice. It's weird, but I've kind of come to that fruition of like understanding or appreciation of American Horror Story. But Beetlejuice in itself, it gave us this ghost world that I never knew we needed.
Sandworms. I hate them myself.
Beetlejuice was definitely a really good one.
The special effects, just in general, just the makeup, with Alec Baldwin's character with the hand and everything, and
Yeah, that freaked me out as a kid, but goddamn, I love that movie.
yeah, and it's not like special high tech or anything like that.
No,
for the
it's
special
all-
effects, and it holds up. I think over time.
I think it does. The practical effects are.
There's a
fucking
timelessness
amazing.
to it. I think
Not a whole lot of technology was in it, so you could really
just
kind of
claymation, just stop motion.
Well, like what I mean by technology, you don't see them running around with like cell phones and shit like that.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You can't really put a timestamp as to where it is. Maybe by the clothes.
And I think
but
that's-
even then,
I think
that's
that's-
kinda,
Not even. I mean, they're stuck in a house. So between the time where they died and where the Maitlands move in, it's not expressed, but a lot of fucking time has gone by because their whole house is remodeled completely.
Yeah.
So it's like
The only kind of timestamp we have on that is the car that they
that goes
that's
over.
it.
I drive an older car.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And that's the beauty of Tim Burton films. It's like he always puts a timelessness on it to where you can't really pinpoint it to. Look at Batman. Batman is a perfect example of that. Like, tell me what year Batman takes place. You can't.
1989.
I think the only time Batman ever like had like a timestamp, or at least the Tim Burton ones, is in Returns when he pulls out that CD and he's like,
You gotta admit, I played this stinking city like a harp from hell.
Right?
He like DJs it for a second.
Kids
That's
sit
the
there
only
like,
time.
What is that?
Because other than that, it's just like TV monitors and shit that he's looking at. That's pretty much it.
Anyways, we're here for your daughter, Chuck. Move forward. The one thing that I'm just terrified about Beetlejuice is that they've been planning it for years as a sequel.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice in Hawaii. Don't do it.
The Grudge.
Pretty good.
Like Japanese or the American?
Either one, really. I mean, directed by the same guy. I mean,
yeah, but
Gesundheit.
really depends. It just depends on like. Well, for me, like I didn't care for the Grudge, but I loved Ju-on. Like because those were like my favorites.
Yeah, Ju-on was probably the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that came out all the way 2002. Ju-on the Grudge was just like, wow, like fuck, that was terrifying.
Yeah,
and it played better with the
that stupid whatever. I can't do it.
Yeah, what he was just doing.
Get that man some Alka-Seltzer immediately.
That was magic,
dude. Like where the kid's head's up real high in the closet and drops down. I was just like,
I'm done.
I just shot pee into my pants.
and that was the kickoff.
That's not butter in your popcorn, sir.
When that kicked off all the remakes for all that shit, it really it stuck something in my side because the originals were so.
We knew it was going to happen eventually.
Yeah, The Grudge, Premonition, The Eye, Gothica,
Ring.
Ring. Like, yeah, you knew the moment that those like foreign horror movies came up,
and that was a fad for a while too. I mean, it was nonstop for a while. Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, I'm more familiar with the U.S. version.
Yeah,
I've seen the original one like once, but
the originals are really good. Those were. I actually picked up on the originals before the Hollywood remakes came out. Yeah. Because I had all of those on DVD
as
they were
Michelle Gellar, right?
Yeah,
yes.
This one. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always get them. I always get them all fucking spun around.
The one that always got me with Ju-on, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3. Is whenever they're going down the car, and it's the husband and wife. They're talking. And the husband's talking to her, and the camera keeps coming back, and he looks back, and the kid is between her legs holding her knees. And it's like, because he opens his mouth and like, meow, and they like veer off. And it's like insane.
I would have so punched my own dick.
Now, by this point, like anybody that's watched horror movies for a long time should know, anytime the camera starts panning back and forth between something, get ready for something.
Definitely. Yeah. But to like junior high school, I can't remember when I got it, but to me, I was like, this is fucking insane.
Jesus.
But just the design aspect of the ghost of the kids. It's crazy. I mean, just so original and unique. But simple. But simple, you know?
Exactly. So fucking simple.
Simple is always better. I've always found that in horror. When you get too fucking crazy, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? The only thing I can say is the difference is that I watch Ringu and I prefer The Ring. And the reason I prefer The Ring is because Gore Verbinski has an eye that only Spielberg could like match. Because like Gore Verbinski is like great. Like, if you ever see the most recent film he did with the
Pirates?
No, the kid that goes to the insane asylum.
Fucking Cure for Wellness.
Dude,
that's beautifully shot. That's confusing as fuck, though.
Yeah, it's like a lot. That's like the Shutter Island. It's like people will be like, I don't like that movie. Like, fuck, I think it's magic.
Really? Like, I look at that and I just cream. It's just so beautiful.
Shutter Island and Cure for Wellness. If they ever did that at Alamo Drafthouse, it's like a fucking a double bill. I'd go to that.
I would go to that in a heartbeat. Yeah, I would go just see Shutter Island just because that is so saturated and beautiful. Like, it is, the greens are popping green. I mean, the blues are deep cobalt blue.
The score for fucking Shutter Island.
Another classic movie, not really horror, unless you could define it as one, but Ghostbusters.
Oh, Ghostbusters.
That's not the sequel, obviously, because that's more comedy than.
Yeah, no, of course.
So yeah, Ghostbusters. I mean, come on. I mean,
Ghostbusters. You can't like anytime you talk about ghost movies, that's always going to be the one that's somewhere in that list.
Are you
somewhere.
yourself, Ralph, menstruating right now?
Totally the quiet ones. Dude, I love both of them. I think both are fucking classic. Yeah, like the original gets like all the, I don't know, the glory, but the second one's just as good. I really enjoy Vigo the Carpathian. I love that nerdy dude who's the handler for Vigo.
Peter Nichols.
Hello.
Oh, is the baby? Ooh.
She's sleeping.
I would.
She's sleeping.
Oh, he's so great.
Okay. The fun is over. The happiness is left. Go. He's joking. Okay.
But no, but on the opening scene of the first Ghostbusters, that librarian.
Yes, that librarian.
That's, I mean,
dude, the lions out front of that building scared me when I was a kid. I was just like, what is this with that music? Oh, forget it. Yeah, the entire library scene, and I was just like terrified at 6 years old of this movie.
As far as the ghost factor, like,
oh, dude, the whole Zool grabbing Dana and sucking her into the fridge.
Yeah,
like that was terrifying to me.
And that's one of the reasons I had to mention on this list. At some point.
Definitely.
Okay, but moving on to the next one, Crimson Peak. The visuals of the spirits and the ghosts in the house.
That merger between practical effect and CG was just, to me, perfect on that one.
The first about the first 20 minutes into it, we get that first glimpse of the old lady spirit. When she comes like through the hallway, she shuts the door and she comes through the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was.
Don't tell me you don't jump at that.
I love it. That's why I'm glad.
I went to Alamo for that one.
But just the some of them like coming through the floors and it's like crawling on the floor.
Yeah.
And this the red like design, the colorization of them.
And that's the guy that does all the shit for Record and It. He did the.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same actor. He just does great work.
Yeah. So I think that movie goes on the radar quite a bit, but I mean,
I think it's underappreciated.
Yeah.
That one's on my radar for sure. Like,
I think
hell, it even had a beautiful Mondo poster for it.
Oh yeah. Daniel Danger did the Crimson Peak.
I haven't seen that one, but I would imagine
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was a gorgeous poster. Yeah, it was very much like that.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, they don't know what we're talking about, but
it's very reminiscent of the Hannibal poster that we have sitting back there.
By Daniel Danger.
Yeah, there you go. Google it.
Yeah, Google.
You googly.
Anything else about that movie you wanted to?
Guillermo del Toro knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
It would be like the film he did before he would do Shape of Water and win a fucking Oscar.
Right? Yeah.
So it's like, he was on the right.
Again, just the visualizations of that movie, just the color of the when you're walking through the house and you see like the greens and the reds mixed together. It's just,
and I think Saoirse, forget her name, Saoirse something. Yeah, she does a great job in that.
Yeah. Okay, next one on my list, I got to mention The Shining.
Yes, you can't forget that one.
And a hush fell over the crowd.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's the film that came out in Ready Player One, right?
That was that one.
That's what the
B
kids
movie.
are saying now, right?
That was that one B movie that got announced with that old guy.
B movie, sir. Shit.
A starter car. It's a finishing car.
This is, dude. That's like slapping it down.
But I mean, there's a lot of obviously non-ghost moments in that. But I mean, if you think about it, there are some the
If you
ghost
ever want to
moments.
see a haunted hotel, I think Kubrick made a very beautiful landscape for a retelling of
Just
that.
the visuals of everything. Yeah. One of the things I was thinking of was the bathtub.
Yeah,
the bathtub
with that lady.
Yeah,
that
one stands out as far as the
Eeriness.
ghost moments. Yeah, eeriness, ghost.
Oh, hey, naked lady.
Oh, the girls just the girls when the boy would go around the corner, Danny would just come around the corner, his tricycle just like that. I mean, that was just like that's just pure terror.
Hell, those girls were at well, they're not girls now. They were at Texas Frightmare a couple of years back, and they redid those lines, and they stood there, held hands, and looked into the crowd, and it was still off-putting.
Yeah,
like oh my god.
And that's what people don't understand. If you love the novel, read the novel, enjoy the novel. If you want a retelling of the novel, Kubrick did a great.
I was going to actually ask that. What were like the big differences between the two, if any?
Oh God, Stephen King fucking hated this movie.
Well, the whole
the one he hates the most, like the least favorite.
And
movie
it's because Kubrick fired a couple shots across the bow of Stephen King. He like, Stephen King like had this release party, and then was like, "Oh yeah, my new book's coming out, The Shining," and then Kubrick it was in the contract that King got the first script, and Kubrick laughed at it and threw the script away, and then said, "I've got a real American writer to do it." And the woman, I forget her name, that does the screenplay for this, I'd have to look it up, which I'm not going to. That was the first shot across the bow. Then the film took like over a year and a half to film and edit, and then like finally 2 years later it got released. So he made Stephen King look like a fool.
So he basically had the rights to make the movie, but no.
Yeah, I mean the studio tapped
consent. I guess.
I think if he would have did a direct, like from the book to the film, what Kubrick would have nailed down it. The book is its own thing.
Yeah.
And having those certain beats that the book has, I don't think it would ever play right.
What about the sequel coming out, the Dr. Sleep? Because that's going to be interesting because that's following the book, not the movie, right?
There's a small chapter at the very end that ties into the original Shining.
Yeah.
But as far as Dr. Sleep, it's its own monster. What the future of Danny is, it's bleak and it's rough, but it's a good story. But this is very, very different from The Shining. This is like Danny having to deal with his power and meeting other people with his power and dealing with psychic vampires. That doesn't put you off of what the original Shining was.
Psychic vampires?
Yeah. Exactly. There's
a
a caravan of fucking gypsies that are psychic vampires, and all they do is they feed off of people that have The Shining.
They drink red rum?
They drink red rum. That's a good way of putting it. Because that's literally what they do. They look for people that have The Shining, and they drink off of that.
So we're down to the last two.
Okay.
All right. So number 2 on the list, Conjuring.
Oh,
that's that man.
Hello.
That's that man.
And actually,
talk to me. Hold on, let me get comfortable. Hold on. Let me look right at you.
On my list here, I have
deep into your eyes.
I now have listed the Conjuring universe because you could. I mean,
everywhere.
Yeah, mainly because of the Nun. I didn't care too much for the Nun, but it does have some good visuals
to the side stories.
Yeah,
because like after like how badly panned Annabelle was, I was like, I don't know if I want to get into that, and if it's not James Wan directing it, I'm a little weary.
Yeah. But going back to the Conjuring
itself, though, that is my go-to like Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Like I've ever since
a
the
new
movie
classic,
came out.
I think.
For me, it definitely is. Like every Halloween, it's somewhere in my catalog of what to watch leading up to Halloween, if not on Halloween.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, one of the biggest for me, the biggest like jump moments, I guess, would be. Not even that. No.
Fuck.
the hanging the.
Oh, where it's above the
sheet.
Closet.
Yes, that one.
Where it's above
the
closet.
closet.
Oh, closet one.
Yeah,
oh my God, dude.
Oh man.
Now, do you remember when I was in the theater for the first time with a crowded theater? When the girl wakes up and she's like, she says she can see it, and she's like freaking out.
Yeah.
It's behind her.
And then it like and the door slams shut.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the whole audience, I remember, just lost their shit.
Yeah, because I remember what happened. We were actually supposed to watch that movie together, but I didn't get the memo as to what theater. I went to the wrong theater,
What?
so I ended up watching that movie by
Ralph
myself.
thought we were. What the fuck?
Jeff, stop it.
Ralph thought we were going to drive 30 miles to his theater.
I thought, like, they said Cinemark. I was like, okay, Cinemark Webster, because that's the nicer theater of the two.
Okay.
They ended up going to Cinemark Pasadena.
Trash.
And so I ended up sitting in a theater by
popcorn.
myself in the middle, like directly in the middle. So
By
I'm
yourself?
like, yeah, by myself.
It was funny.
See what friends I have.
In theaters, when that damn hand came out of the darkness and did I heard this girl scream really fucking loud, and I realized it was myself.
And what's even funnier, because I got a funny story with that. For the next month, anytime I would hang out with Nate, I would wait till he wasn't like, he was like in the zone on something, and I'd just come up behind him.
Fuck you, Ralph!
I didn't like that clapping, dude. Like, I
hated it for a
and that's
month.
the thing is, I'm actually, even though I like The Conjuring, I'm actually a bigger Ed and Lorraine Warren fan.
Yeah.
I read a lot of their books, 3 of them. I think there's 6, but I read 3.
One of the things that makes this movie so good is the fact that you have the characters of the Warrens who hold these movies together. I think.
Yeah.
Even in the second movie too.
Well, that's the problem that I have with the second movie. A big problem because they were one of the people that labeled it a falsity, a hoax. Yeah. And so they were literally there for I think 8 hours total.
Yeah,
and they claimed it a hoax. The guy.
Oh, are you talking about the case or on the second?
Yeah, the second case. You said for the totally sideswiped me.
The part 2.
Yeah, the part 2 fuckers, the British people.
Yeah, the ones.
The guys over on the other side of the pond.
Those guys.
No, but the guy who was the biggest instrument was the guy in the movie that called Ed and Lorraine.
Mm.
That guy actually documented all of that and was there the whole time. So, and for them to kind of steal his thunder for that movie, I was kind of pissed off about. Although I was really looking forward to them telling the Amityville story.
Yeah, that would
which they told in 10 minutes in the beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of a waste, but
It
man,
is.
that was a good part.
Conjuring 2 I saw in the theaters, and he almost shit himself whenever they started showing the
whenever
Amityville horror stuff.
Yeah, dude. As soon as it said Amityville, I was like, it's happening. It's going to be the Amityville story, and then it was like over. But during that scene when that nun came out, I literally had to look down. I'm in this giant theater, and I'm just like,
tell me when it's over.
he did not like every time the nun popped up on the screen, he was looking down.
I didn't like it. I didn't like
he was examining his kneecaps.
Yeah, the part
Multiple times.
The part where they're in Ed's office and the painting is there and the lights go out and then you see I was
The
just
shadow,
like,
yeah.
son of a bitch.
Oh, that was terrible.
Son of a bitch. Like I had to keep looking away.
Well, I mean, to their credit, to your credit, and everything, it's just that is a creepy ass design for that nun.
It was
Oh,
gorgeous.
Valak
Yeah.
was beautiful.
And for them to screw it up with the nun, really.
Well, that was a choice that, you know.
And that movie could have been so good.
Well,
it really
it's like they get something good and they rush it, and that's the problem they had with Annabelle. But then Jeff told me Annabelle 2 was something.
It's
special,
great.
so-
Annabelle 2
Annabelle
is
2 is magic.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Shocked me.
both of y'all said.
Because the epilogue being the
Yeah.
prequel
Yeah.
to fucking Annabelle 1 was just like, yes, they wrapped up everything. And they gave you a stinger at the end of Annabelle 2 of the nun. So I was like, Jesus,
Yeah,
freaking what?
It's genius. I mean,
job.
they gave you a stinger that led you to Hill House, because I know this is where the
Hey,
conversation.
I wish.
actually, the actress that was in that movie.
was in the Hill House.
She was,
because She was the one that, she's the one that hung out with the handicapped
This
kid.
could be a 6 degrees of separation.
Oh my god! Everything goes back to Hill House. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, I think this is what you based your list off.
It was all part of my plan the whole time.
You just
Anybody,
wanted an episode of Hill House.
anybody that likes Conjuring 2 needs to give a BBC show, The Infield Haunting. That's a great a double feature thing.
I want to
you can do.
say I want to say that was on Netflix because I remember watching it somewhere.
Gotcha. It has one of the actors that comes out in Harry Potter, but those are 3 episodes that are just perfect. It was that's how I actually first encountered The Infield Haunting, and then I watched The Conjuring 2, so it was a nice way of like Nate said, like part 2 was kind of a joke because it wasn't that, but it was neat to see have the true, like a more truer, in-depth idea of what the story was, and then seeing The Conjuring and being like the Hollywood version of what could it be.
Yeah, I just wish they'd stick to more Ed and Lorraine stories.
Perfect. That's it. Thank you, Robert England. Everybody, go for it. Let's do the
Next.
do the. You've got the. What is it? You got the brains. I've got the body. Right. That's the one.
No, you got the body, I got the brains.
You've got the touch.
Fuck off.
It makes your real now. It makes your real laugh not cool.
I know, really. Like, can you dub that every time I
Start laughing. Satan, I like to take long walks on the beach.
It's fucking stupid. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, so we're going to your number 1 now.
My final thoughts.
Yeah, so number 1, before that, I did have some honorable mentions.
Oh,
okay.
Unless you,
okay.
No, what you got?
Can I add to these?
Yeah, we're gonna round table right here, right? So,
Yes,
Yes.
you may.
Yes.
do you want to go first,
Sweet.
Nathan?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, it's kind of quick hits
Go
here.
for it, Nathan.
Patrick Swayze and Ghost.
That's my number 1.
That is number 1. Dude, that is the steamiest clay molding scene I've ever seen in my life.
That film.
But those little fucking
really? Come
demon
on.
things that come up and fucking come at you, I didn't like it.
You see the twinkle in their eyes?
Dude, that's actually a scary fucking flick.
We'll go back to it.
We'll go back to it. Okay.
Go for it.
What Lies Beneath? I think that is a fucking fantastic
Underrated?
movie.
No, that blew up. Like that's like that was the ghost movie that everybody in this world talked about there for like 2002 or whenever the fuck it came out.
For a weekend, yeah.
Yeah, everybody was just like,
It fucking scared me.
it was like Mission Impossible, and then boom, Harrison Ford with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Dude, it was two great actors on the screen doing wonderful acting and a great script.
Minimal.
Robert Zemeckis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is amazing. God, I want to do an
Terrific.
episode just all Zemeckis.
I'm not going to lie. Whenever I saw that movie, when I saw like the poster for that movie, I thought it was just a drama.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you watch it and be like,
Nope. I
You
still
never
haven't
watched
watched
it?
it.
You haven't seen it?
Oh my god!
Write that in your
Kind of like how
That was- that
Dane
was-
was saying that he never saw a fish called Wanda.
That was The Conjuring before The Conjuring.
Oh yeah.
It was What Lies Beneath.
Write that down.
That's a
That's
good.
a nice way of putting it.
It's a good ghost movie.
Yeah, it's terrific. It was shocking when I think I was 2000, so I was 18.
2002, I
It
think,
scared me
came
when I
out.
was 18.
2002. I was in.
Yeah.
I was a sophomore in high school.
I was not alive. Oh wait, I was.
Just 1990, sir.
It was 2000. You're right.
Our host is 15 years old. We didn't know how to work a computer. And then, of course, I mean, The Fog. Come on, The Fog is a perfect ghost story.
Is it a ghost story?
Fuck yeah. It's people coming back from the dead to fucking reclaim.
They're made out of fog.
You're only putting that on.
They're pirates. They're ghost pirates.
You're only
sir.
putting the fog on there because Adrienne Barbeau's in it.
God, it bless her boobies. Let's see. I've also.
The sign of the cross.
You know, a movie that actually scared me also fairly, I don't know if it's recently, what was the year for it? Not too long ago. Woman in Black put me on edge on some parts.
Ooh,
it wasn't like an overall great. But
Daniel
it had-
Radcliffe going back to
it
Hammer
had some-
Horror.
It had some fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Hammer
I was thinking
Horror,
about that
perfect.
one, but I couldn't really remember because I saw it, but I couldn't remember anything about it.
I watched part 1 and 2. You know, I can't say great things about it, but part 1 did have a rhythm
Creepy
of being
element.
like
Did it?
Hammer
Yeah.
Horror.
Yeah, it had that creepy element to it.
Another one, Stir of Echoes. That is fantastic
That
ghost
is
story.
one of my favorites.
It's a fantastic ghost story.
That for some reason is timeless because it's like it doesn't get old.
No,
And
no.
Kevin Bacon's manic performance in that movie.
I know.
Yeah. He's just like, I had to get to the goddamn water main, but I broke up the
Like
whole
he doesn't
floor.
stop. He just keeps going.
What's he tell the kid?
The kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's like he's trying to get the kid to show you what you got.
Hey, snap out of it! What's the problem?
There you go. Oh, I love that. I love that scene.
She's all, stop it!
I love that
Yeah,
scene.
dude, that whole movie gives me chills. Where he's floating in the theater and his psychosis dream, like
That-
she's putting the
and
pin through his
again,
hand. Fuck me.
That would be a great double feature for Sixth Sense. Like
Yeah.
those two films, perfect.
Dude.
Get out of here.
And then, of course, Sixth Sense, which
Oh, yeah.
we already talked about earlier. But
Or you get Hollow Man. That's Kevin Bacon slapping India.
oh, salty. And then another one that it's a video game adaptation. It was
Stay
remember
Alive?
it was fairly well received. Was Silent Hill.
Oh.
I fucking love
yeah.
that movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
That'd be
God,
like some on my
Cue the
list.
Silent Hill noise.
Yeah, that was
Man, I
good.
forgot
So,
about that one.
I love it.
I would flip coins with where those would land in my list, and there's probably a couple more,
Hey,
but that would be.
Were
some
there
off
ghosts in
top
that
of
movie, or is it just like demonic shit?
She's dead. Like that's in the
that
story.
ending
She's dead.
scene, when that
It's kinda-
fucking choir sounded and like the fucking bed posts up with all the barbed wire. Oh man, that movie is
Dude, Triangle Head fucking used to fuck
Oh,
me
he
up.
throws
Yeah.
the fucking skin at the door.
Or the guy in the bathroom, he's all.
Oh god.
I think I get bits of that.
pedophile freak.
I get that mixed up with the sequel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Revelations.
Revelations.
Something like that.
I saw Revelations once, and I was just
I still
I was
own-
let down by
I
it.
still own it in 3D because
Yeah.
it's beautiful in 3D. That carousel scene. That's
That'd probably fuck me up.
See, I just remember visuals of both movies, and I get them mixed up between which one is which.
and that had fucking what's his name from Game of Thrones before he became like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I can't remember. I always space the chick's name, but she's from Pitch Black and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
God, I can't ever.
Yeah,
remember
she's
her name
gorgeous.
off the top of my
She's
head.
amazing.
But she
She's in both
played,
of them, right?
She
Yeah.
played that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, she's in the second one.
She's in Pitch Black and she's in
Oh no,
Silent
no,
Hill.
I
No,
meant
she's in-
Revelations.
Oh,
Is she
she's
in
not in
both? No, but
Revelations.
I thought the same chick was in both movies.
It's like Rhonda. What's her name?
No. The
Vargas.
the main character in Silent Hill. We're talking about the main character?
Yeah.
No,
The chick,
they're-
right?
They're
The-
two different people. Because the
Rhoda Mitchell.
There you go.
the girl the one in the second
The
one
little
in the
girl.
second movie is the grown up version of the girl from the first movie.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
because
I need to revisit these fucking
For
movies.
me, those movies I didn't really care for too much, but it's because
Yeah.
I played the
Yeah.
game.
Another one, Candyman, is a ghost story.
Not really.
Candyman's dead. He's a ghost that comes back when you say
I
his
kind of
name
see
in
that
the
more
mirror.
as a slasher, though.
It is a slasher, but it's also the subject, Candyman. He is dead. He died in the 1800s.
It's Pocahontas.
It is Bloody Mary mixed with a little Pocahontas. You are correct.
You know what? I'll allow it.
Harry.
So let's hear your
Honorable
honorables.
mentions. There goes.
All right, so you've actually named a few of them. I had Stir of Echoes on there. I had The Fog in there. We mentioned Sixth Sense earlier.
Gotcha.
Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship was great. We were just talking about that the other day.
Just for the opening scene alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
my
that
God.
was who we
Like
were
everybody,
talking about.
everybody always gave me shit for liking that movie when I was growing up. I was like, "This is an entertaining movie," and they're like,
Very
"No, that
much.
movie's fucking garbage."
The little girl from
No, that
No,
the massacre at the beginning of that movie is
Awesome.
beautiful.
It's fun.
right with,
And the top of the fucking captain's head. What?
yeah, with the
Come
little
on.
girl from Lemony Snicket's and
Yeah, I forgot about that.
what's that weird dance movie where she's in an insane asylum?
Yeah, Gangnam Style. Forgot about that.
No, not at all. What the fuck?
The what movie?
The what?
The movie where she's like trapped in her own head. She's in an
Oh,
insane
Sucker
asylum.
Punch.
Sucker Punch. Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she's great actress.
Pucker sucks.
The problem where they went wrong
Sucker
with that
Punch.
movie is they did not get rid of the blonde guy. He's horrible. And there was one other guy that was really fucking annoying. And they
Hold
kept
on.
these
Let
idiots
me pause you.
till the very end.
Sucker Punch or
No, Ghost Ship.
Ghost? Okay, cool.
It was like
I got a little lost there for a minute.
No, it was like the blonde-haired guy. That,
I was gonna ask
that
the same
was
questions, okay.
Always that was piloting the was the captain or whatever. He was the pilot of
Gabriel Byrne?
No. Is he blonde? Is he blonde, sir?
What about The Frighteners?
A wonderful movie.
Oh, man. I remember seeing that in theaters.
I think it was overrated, but it was very
More
good.
comedy than straight up really
Yeah, it
more
was-
comedy. It's
It
like
was fun.
I vaguely remember, but I remember it being more comedy than
Yeah.
horror.
That
But
was-
yeah, no, it was entertaining.
What about Evil Dead? I mean, those are ghosts.
those are deadites. They're demons.
They're demons, and demons are part of the.
You don't read a
spiritual
fucking
plane.
book to bring ghosts back.
You got that?
You got that?
Before Miss Hitton?
God damn.
Give me some distortion.
Jeff.
Go fuck yourself.
No.
What an asshole. Don't worry,
I
I'll
I
edit
do
this.
love the Frighteners.
All right, so one more head on my honorable mentions before I get to number one here. And you're going to have to help me with this one, Jeff, because you're the one that introduced the movie to me. Grave Encounters.
Grave Encounters was great. Even the sequel was good. That's
I
what.
don't think I've seen the sequel.
Well, the sequel. You remember how the ending was like the guy.
That's why I said you got to help me out because I've seen it once, but all right.
Grave Encounters, it plays out like a. You said you only saw the first one once?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Well, and the reason I mention this movie is because it's different from the other ones, as it's more of like a reality TV
Yeah.
Oh
documentary.
yeah, it's like the Blair Witch meets reality.
Yeah,
TV.
yeah. So and that's why I wanted to talk about this.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
like
dude.
Travel Channel's Ghost Adventures.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's essentially what spawned.
Yeah.
Grave Encounters.
Yeah.
But
the
yeah, it's
whole
a little
whole
bit
night
like that.
vision thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where all that spawned out from, or at least that's from what I know of it all spawned out from. That movie, it was panned as like it was a B movie, wasn't it? Because because
But
it
it-
had a very
not a
very
big
small-
release or anything.
But it ended up
No.
being a sleeper hit. I mean, the only thing you got to kind of give into is that some of the visual effects were like the big eyes getting big
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But-
that and the
But it still helped with the overall
The scares.
the
Yeah.
vibe and the atmosphere, the environment of the
Totally.
the movie itself.
And I like the way the ending was, and it made a perfect sequel.
Yeah.
They actually did a very
the
good
sequel didn't feel as like it was still the sequel still followed the same like formula, but it wasn't until the end that it deviated because
became its own?
it didn't like it still followed that same formula of like, oh, this is a reality TV show, these are the tapes, yada yada yada. But whenever it gets to, I think it's that last like I want to say quarter of the film, it's no longer a found footage. It actually becomes like, I think if I'm not mistaken, it ends up becoming like an actual like filmed movie scene because it's not someone holding the camera anymore.
Kind of, sort of. The ghost ended up handling the camera. What's weird is at the end, the guy gets trapped in this labyrinth in the weird sewer-like cellar. And what they do is they stumble on the sequel. They stumble to the guy that's lost in the cellar. And the guy's been like eating rats and stuff. And for him, it's been like 18 months.
Yeah.
But for everybody else, it's been like, we just, We just
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So a little twist.
So it's like a
yeah.
weird time twist and stuff like that. But they show more of the creatures in part 2, which is really cool. But part 1 is just a great flick.
Because it starts off grounded.
Very grounded.
And then slowly you start seeing different things.
Camera on this level shows this. Camera on, oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that one was really good. That one was one of my favorites.
I wanted to mention this movie, but then I revisited it, and it's like, no. House on Haunted Hill. Going back and watching, I was hoping there was more like ghost stuff in it, but it really wasn't. There was the stuff that was in there was good, but it wasn't a whole lot. Like you saw some video cameras and you see him like on walking and like you saw Twitchy and stuff. But again, we're back in the mid or late 90s when the CGI wasn't really good, and the whole climax is the big
ghost Chris Kattan pulling the fucking pulling the rope.
And plus, it's got Chris Kattan in the movie, and I can't justify that. But yeah, I just want to just touch on that for a second, unless y'all had something else.
The Innkeepers by Ty West.
Great
movie. Is it? Because I just watched.
The ending has the ghost.
The
ending has the ghost.
But getting to that point.
Is it a ghost movie? It kind of.
What about we?
Dude, you're like 40 minutes in.
No, you're like an hour and something in.
No, you're like 40 minutes in. And you have like piano keys moving. That's it. And then there was one cool shot of like the head behind, like
the girl,
like right
the woman, yeah.
And that looked cool as fuck. And that's why I wanted to. I was gonna mention Innkeepers in this, but the movie's it drags.
Innkeepers does drag a good bit. You don't get.
All right.
You don't get anything.
Then to trump that, then 1408. With John Cusack and Samuel Jackson.
There you go. That
From
is
the very beginning,
a
you're
very
like,
classic shitty movie. Thank you.
God, that movie's fucking amazing. No matter what ending you get, it's like a fucking. I love it.
I need to go back and read it.
It actually was pretty good. I hated it the first few times I watched it. But what about Lady in White back in the 80s?
That's why I have on my list too.
Fucking scary ass
that's
flick.
a good one. Because that's just a creep factor all the way.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Is it more creepy in the sense that you don't see anything,
it's
or
actually it's actually the revisiting of that ghost? That's what's creepy about it. It's like the lady coming to there looking for her daughter.
Oh yeah,
and then you also have
that's the urban legend, isn't it? Is it based on the urban legend of the Lady in White?
Yeah, it's based on the legend, but it's actually the boy experiences when he's locked in that fucking coat closet over that one night when he's locked up. That's why it's terrifying. It's like God.
Freaky.
So so you see the lady.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's
so
like,
what does she look like? Is she
an
it's
old
like
woman?
It's like the librarian from Ghostbusters throughout the film.
Oh,
it's like a mixture of if you took the librarian from Ghostbusters and you took the fucking Zelda from Pet Sematary and smashed them together.
No.
Yeah, you're terrified though.
Oh God.
When I was like 7 or 8, I watched that and I was just like, I will never go in the coat closet ever. Like never.
And the new one
gets stuck in there overnight.
Oh yeah, that was
thunderstorm and rainstorm.
Horrifying.
Oh fuck no.
And since it was a kid, it was like even next level. Like,
no thanks.
The new ones I said were on Shudder. We've talked about them in some Deep in the Heart Texas episodes. Was Terrified. Terrified is on Shudder. It's the ghost movie I would kind of recommend to anybody because it's very paranormal and it's very it's multi-dimensional but also ghost layered. So it's a very one I'd put on somebody's radar. And Satan's Slave is also on Shudders. It's the Indonesian Conjuring.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Conjuring.
That one is. If you ever get your hands on a Shudder account, that one's definitely something to watch.
Oh yeah.
I would recommend that one.
And then also recently, Ghost Stories, which is with
you point that in my direction. We did watch it.
It has some good anthology stories. I know it's more of a bigger scope kind of idea, but the stories in itself are fun.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And then if we can just take a moment to talk about Patrick Swayze and Ghost.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
My number one, Insidious.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I was actually going back and forth between Insidious and Conjuring. But when revisiting both these films, for creepiness factor, environmental, and just ghosts, just in general, I think Insidious
knocked it out of the park.
I think so, a little bit more, because Conjuring, as good as it is more classic in its delivery, where Insidious just hits you in the face.
Yeah, Insidious really just like slaps you in the face, especially with that lipstick demon.
Oh no!
But like the lead up with everything else, though, all those fucking ghosts. Hell, just the scene with the fucking gas mask.
Nope.
Yeah,
was
the idea of the Nether.
Yeah,
they call it.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Just and it's just the creep factor all together. It all comes together. Not only just the the visuals when he's in the nether in
the lantern and
and
fog.
then the ghost with the shotgun, the chick with the shotgun.
yeah.
She's just smiling, and the violin right there, all at the same time. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this, man. But yeah, Insidious is for what it is.
It was the first time Blumhouse and James Wan and Leigh Whannell, all of them came together, and it was just perfect.
And the just when they would just tease you with when the baby's crying and she goes up to the room and there's a shot of him behind
walking the outside.
Yeah, just different things like that, man. It's just the creep factor and just just everything about it is just. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that one had the Tiny Tim tune to it, and it just had those creep out moments with, like you were saying, with the fucking baby and the guy
Darth
walking
Maul,
outside. Yeah, and again, the lipstick demon. Like, my only problem that I have with that movie though was the full body reveal of the lipstick demon, because it just seemed so out of place, or at least to me, it felt
like
out
a
of place.
minotaur.
Yeah, kind of like a minotaur, and
because we're not used to seeing it. We're not used to seeing just a full body ghost
entity.
Yeah,
it wasn't so much as like it's not like it wasn't that. It's just the design of them looked weird,
like Darth Maul.
Darth Maul upper body, goat bottom half. Fucking fingernails that look like they belonged on Freddy Krueger, and a forked tongue.
Like he wandered off the set of like a Tenacious D fucking album cover show.
Yeah, it looked like you wandered off the set of Pick a Destiny into this movie, and they're like, whoever put this guy in costume, put him as the lipstick demon. So,
but
and it's
saying all that, dude, you telling me that that scene where he pops up right behind him, dude?
Yeah,
that was awesome. Like all the shots, like leading up to him, were amazing.
Yeah,
but it was that last like full body shot that took me out of it.
Every shot, like even when he's in the corner, he just points to the boy.
Yeah,
It's like all that shit where she's sketching him in the corner.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that was
all that was great. It's just that last like
the reveal
minutes.
of inside the room, and he's
in the red room, and he's up there. He's playing Tiny Tim again, and the camera comes to the father and son, and it comes back to him, and he's looking at him through the window.
Yeah.
That's where I was kind of like, I don't know about this.
He's getting ready for his Marilyn Manson concert. You know,
exactly.
Like,
I think plus it looked like he had like a weird hairdo type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
everything else on him looked. Everything else leading up to him was great.
Member to Mudvayne or something.
Yeah,
and it's going back to the music aspect as well. Just the violin, just the chord of a violin being strung. You know, just
the Insidious when that Insidious music came up, it was like you were in for a treat. Leigh Whannell and them hit something smart when they hit the boy being haunted,
even
not the house.
Even when the title screen for Insidious, it like hits you right in the
the music that's just high screaming fucking violin noise. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
that was very reminiscent of what they ended up throwing away for the original Exorcist.
Oh, really?
Score. Before William Friedkin went with the kind of
tubular bells.
Yeah, when he started doing piece music and stuff like that, the original score was like very frantic and like that. High strings throwing you off constantly.
Maybe I'm wrong on this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the intro of that, and when the Insidious logo pops up and the music's playing, it reminded me of some classic Italian horror films, and maybe that's what they're going for. But that's to me, that's it. I'm instantly reminded of those.
Definitely. And what was also interesting is the guy who had composed all that music, Joseph Biafra or something like that. He played the lipstick demon, and he played the demon in Conjuring Part 1.
Okay.
I forget her name.
Bathsheba?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The witch.
So that was the male composer playing both characters.
Wow.
So I was like, wow.
And I guess I can include Insidious Chapter 2. I'm not a fan of 3 or 4, but Chapter 2 is a direct sequel and ties right into Part 1
perfectly.
I didn't care for Part 3, and then the Part 4 just didn't do anything for me, which is a shame because I really like Part 1 and Part 2. It's like, okay, well, they're veering off from what it originally was.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be a thing, but I guess they're done with the franchise now. They're just
I don't know, because the way Part 4 ends, it leaves it to be believed that it could be the granddaughter. Part 2 is the one that gives you all the idea of like what the old woman ghost was.
Yeah, okay.
And all that story.
So yeah, that one I remember. 3, I don't really remember all that well.
3 was how she met Specs and the other dude. That's how they became like a team. Like they were already a separate ghost hunting entity, and then they met her, and then they became a bigger thing. And then part 4 tags into more of them working as a team finally, and they do a case that reconnects Lin Shaye to like kind of her origin story with her father, which was interesting. But yeah, they really never take that right step that would get you back into what happens at the aftermath of part 2.
Yeah,
I just
Or 1.
I think both films, and for a while I would get them mixed up.
Yeah.
some of the visuals, like some of this jump scares and stuff, I would get. Was that in Insidious or in Conjuring?
Yeah.
But both of them, I mean, James Wan, Blumhouse, all that, I mean, it's knocked it out of the park. So, Ralph, you're a huge Conjuring fan. What about Insidious? Are you just as big as them on them?
Insidious, again, like I said, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Insidious up until that last little bit. Outside of that, yeah, it's a really good movie. Would I hold it over Conjuring? Probably no, I wouldn't. I actually hold Conjuring above
honestly, I do too. And the reason, and I said that's why I picked Insidious as number 1 just for this particular list.
Yeah.
At the time I was making this list, I was really going for what's the creepiest, scariest. Obviously, I diverted from my own list, but my number 1 and 2 maintained. It was always going to be Insidious and Conjuring.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And like Nate was kind of going about like the demon and ghost, on and so forth. Bathsheba was an actual witch in history, you know.
Right.
And I think that's what makes, to me, gives Conjuring that edge, is that it's based off of a real life story. Now, how much of it is true, I have no idea. I didn't read the books, but he did. But yeah, Conjuring is always one of my tops. Sidious, though, was a really good movie to watch.
It was just a mindfuck when it came out, man.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. For the first Insidious and Sinister, I always got mixed up. So I always mixed those two up, but once I finally saw the second one, I was able to differentiate the two.
Yeah, that was the problem. I think I watched all of those at the same time, like Oculus, Sinister, Insidious, and I ended up just not really giving a fuck about any of them.
Well, because I think Sinister and Insidious came out almost about the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
And
like
Oculus
within a
was
month,
maybe a
month
year
or so
later.
apart.
They were close, right?
I didn't care for Oculus when it first came out, but
I don't think a lot of people
during
did.
the whole haunting of Hill House,
Jesus Christ, full circle.
Yeah.
Mike
knew it was gonna
Flanagan,
happen.
who did Oculus.
Yeah.
I said, well, let me go back. Maybe there's something to this film that I missed the first time. I watched it, I was like, not really. Because I wanted to be a good ghost flick, and it's not a ghost. It's about the mirror. Like the mirror's doing everything. So it's like, eh.
And it was a throwaway film for me. Oculus was kind of like, eh.
Well, out of those, the one that stuck out the most to me, but had just the worst ending, was Sinister. Like, it stood out. Now that I go back and look at it, obviously the Insidious, holds a little bit.
I kind of like the thing I like about Sinister is, I believe the ending. No one wins. Like the ghoul, he gets all the kids, right?
Yeah, but I hate that pop out scare where he's all.
Oh yeah, I
so
forgot about
lame.
that. Yeah, that is lame. Yeah,
It was such a good.
That counters
movie.
what I just said.
Yeah, it was such a good movie leading up to some really shitty, scary cheese.
Yeah, it did. I need to correct myself. Insidious was 2010, Sinister was 2012, so they didn't come out at the same time. I need to correct myself.
Maybe it came out with another film that you're thinking of.
Well, I think I saw like all of them in 2015. Like that's when I started. Like I think it was after Conjuring. I was like, okay, I'm gonna check out these other ones. And no.
Jeff, what about Dead Silence?
I love it. That's James Wan.
Yeah,
Early shit.
and that's why I'm thinking about that is because we're just talking about James.
Great movie,
but that's
bad
not
ending.
Yeah,
But that's in the same vein of like Tooth Fairy and Darkness Falls and stuff like that. It was just a fun story.
But wasn't
The
that
Boogeyman.
also a film that James Wan was forced to have to do, if I'm not mistaken?
After they did
he was,
Saw,
contractually obligated or something.
After they did Saw, they were just pitching fucking ideas,
Yeah.
and for some reason, somebody bought Dead Silence, and they're like, "Fuck, we gotta make this." And they're like, "Anyone else had to hit out the typewriter and typed it out."
Well, didn't he say he absolutely hated cigarette smokers, and then he became a cigarette smoker 'cause
During
he had,
writing
like,
this?
less than a month to write it?
Yeah. And it was just like, "Hey, you bite the hand that feeds." That feeds.
She needs her own spinoff because she is fucking wonderful.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
What's her name?
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. Yes. God, I wish I had that.
Wait, who are you talking? Who needs a spinoff?
The bad
Dead
chick
Silence.
in Dead Silence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
She was fucking creepy as all hell.
Shit, what was her name? It was the puppeteer in Dead
Mary
Silence.
something.
Jim Henson.
Mary Kate and Ashley.
Jeff, quit naming random things that you know.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
No, it was Mary Shaw.
Okay, so he's close.
It's all of it.
I'll give you that, Jeff.
It's all of it. Take some of those letters out of each of those names.
Blanket Comforter Shaw.
So, nice little crossover episode.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Jeff, for that wonderful addition to the. So for
Is that when it's coming out? Christmas? What are you, a monthly podcast?
Sometimes depends on the month.
Thanks again, everybody, for showing up for another episode of Deep in the Heart of Texas. This is Jeff.
This is Nathan.
And this is Ralph.
And from Pop Culture Rewind,
this is Travis.
Keep it scary.
About a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me, and I will never be set free as long as I'm a ghost you can't see. Today
Thank you for listening to Deep in the Horror of Texas. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you like what you hear, please leave a review on the iTunes or Stitcher radio app. And above all, remember to keep it scary.